Hey folks, welcome to We Built This White Lake. I'm Amy Van Loon, Executive Director of the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, and we are your hosts for We Built This White Lake, which is a series of podcasts. We are interviewing local businesses and organizations in our community. And today with us, we have Scott Lewis, who is the owner of Lewis Adventure Farm and Zoo. Welcome, Scott. Great to have you with us in the podcast studio.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Good. We're going to go ahead and kick it right off. And my first question to you is, go ahead and share with us a little bit about Lewis Adventure Farm and Zoo.
So we are located in New Era, so a little bit outside of Whitehall, but we are a farm market, on-site farm market. We have a zoo, so we have grown our animals into a lot of unique species of different things that you can see here in Oceana County. And we also have a vast array of fruit that we grow on our farm. So we're also a 500-acre fruit farm. So basically everything we sell in there, as far as produce goes, is grown on our farm. And then we've kind of grown into what we call agritourism. So we have lots of attractions and different things that you can do when you come to the farm. So it's something unique. It's something I guess you don't see everywhere. We're not a zoo per se, but we are a hybrid, I guess I'm going to say.
You are. And when you said, we are a farm market, I thought you were going to say a farm market on steroids, because it is, it's more than just a farm market. So good point there. Yeah.
Definitely is.
You have a lot of different offerings.
Yes, we do.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Lewis Adventure Farm and how it all started.
Sure. So back in 2002, my wife started selling sweet cherries in the front yard of her house.
Okay.
And she was doing it to make a little extra money, and it became very popular. In 2003, my kids started helping out. They were only 5 or 6, I believe, at that time. And that became something they enjoyed doing, as the 3 of them did. And we actually saw an opportunity, said, all right, maybe it's time to put another farm market back on the farm. Over the years, we've had several farm markets. Back when my grandparents were, back in the 70s, actually, my grandparents had a farm market there, and I would go down and help them when I was about their age. And that's when actually the expressway stopped at our exit.
Oh,
so
all right.
Back then it stopped and went up past us. So there was a tremendous amount of traffic. So they took advantage of that. And then after the expressway continued on, they closed that back down, and they were getting older in life and had other things to do. So then we decided, all right, maybe it was time for us to take a plunge at it. We actually toured a few farms around the country, or around the state, I should say.
Okay.
And I fell in love with animals. My wife loved animals, and I always told her, well, we're a fruit farm. We don't have room for animals, So when we decided to take out the orchard to put the farm market in, we decided, all right, we're going to put an animal barn in too. And, goats are just an amazing creature. They have so much character and whatnot, and people just love coming out and seeing the goats, feeding the goats. So that is kind of how it all started. Had no idea where the direction would go. We just honestly wanted to sell fruit at our market, and put a little bakery in, so we were doing some baked goods and whatnot, and the people really enjoyed it. People came out, and so we saw the opportunity we needed to grow. So we started adding on, putting in more retail space at the market. I think it was probably 2006 we put a second barn in. And that's when we got Jeffrey, our camel, and we kind of expanded in some different type of animals that you would normally not see here in Oceana County in the area. And that became really popular. So people would come out. They loved to see the animals. So 2007, we went to our first conference in Wisconsin. I remember I met a guy, and he kind of introduced us to what we now call agritourism. So we brought home a jumping pillow, which nobody knew what a jumping pillow was at the time. And we installed that. And again, it just seemed to go with everything we were trying to do. So as we expanded our animal offerings, now we started expanding some attractions so people could have when they were there. And as we noticed, as parents brought their children out, they loved the animals, but they also loved the other things we do. So again, we've continued to grow that, and Now we have 5 animal barns, I think, and we have anything from, goats to donkeys to miniature horses to camels. We've expanded into fallow deer. We have chickens, the basic farm animals, but now we've kind of got into the exotic a little bit. We have sloths, we have capybaras, and just some unique things that you normally wouldn't see in this area. So it's enough to get people out and get people excited, I think, when they come out and see the animals. And it's just enough for mom and dad, for the kids to see them, to enjoy them. But then, kids lose that interest pretty quick and they want to go play. Mm-hmm. So when you come to our farm, you're going to see things that you've never seen before. I think that's what I want when you come there. So everything's hands-on, almost all the animals you can feed when you're there where you can't at a normal zoo. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the attractions you're going to see there you've never seen before. So we're all about hands-on. We're not old-fashioned by any way, shape, or form, but we wanted you to step back in time, put the phone down, come have fun with the kids, because they're just as much fun for the parents, I think, as there is for the kids when they come out. That's what most people don't realize. Oh, you got to have a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old to come there, and you don't. Mm-hmm. We have so many things now with the apple cannons and, the corn box. People absolutely love our corn barn. People spend hours in there, and it's one of the most unique things you'll ever see when you come out, because it's just something different that you'll never see anywhere else.
Awesome.
So
you almost can say you have not everything for everyone, but you have a little of something for almost everyone.
We really do. And, now that our fall season is starting up, last year we really wanted to give that 20-something a place to come also, girls' day out, whatever. So we went really aggressive into some different photo ops. So now we have a ton of fiberglass pumpkins. We have 6-foot diameter pumpkins. We have 12-foot pyramids of pumpkins. And, we have our pumpkin house that's being decorated as we speak right now. So there's so many great photo ops that you can take when you come out, for a girls' weekend or for a date night or a date afternoon, I guess I should say. And it's really opened up for, like you said, something for everybody now. Mm-hmm. So with the corn maze going on and the apple cannons, we have Flower Fest still going on right now. So we have field of zinnias, fields of sunflowers with photo ops out in those. So you can come out and, again, get more photo ops. It's all those memories that, we want you to make memories when you come to the farm.
Nice. You speak passionately about all the different offerings at Lewis Adventure Farm. But circling back to the animals, what's your favorite animal? You had touched on the goats. Is that your favorite animal?
It used to be probably the goats. We've raised so many animals now in our house. So a lot of what we get, or if we have babies, we actually have the babies. We baby from another place that we bring to the farm. They get raised in our house.
Oh my goodness!
So we bottle raise kangaroos, we bottle raise wallabies, we bottle raise coatimundis. So there's a tremendous amount of animals that we have raised in our. And I think coatimundis are probably one of the coolest little.
And
animals.
What is that? What is
so
it?
So coatimundi is like a South American raccoon.
Oh, okay.
And they are just all over you when you're bottle raising them, and they bond to you. I think that's the biggest thing that people don't realize. Animals, especially when you're bottle raising, they consider you mom and dad.
Oh.
And they don't forget. You can really do an imprint on animals just like you can your children.
Right.
So I may not get in the pens as much as I like to anymore, but when I do go in there and see, they just all over you. I know you. So
nice.
Why haven't you been around to see me more often?
So sweet.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun dealing with the animals, that's for sure.
I think the first time I had visited the farm was back in 2007, 2008, and you started showing me around and what some of this vision was.
Sure.
And the expansion and the growth and all the different diverse things to see there is very admirable. And I really appreciate, all the forethinking and thought that has gone into the market and all the different adventures to experience.
I think that's what most people don't understand. When we built back in 2004, we were Lewis Farm Market, and everyone considers us a farm market. We'll still be called that today, from people out there. And the amount of growth we have done since probably 2015 it's unbelievable, really. I mean, for us, I mean, we're passionate about it. We throw everything we make back into the business. And I think for somebody that hasn't been there even in 2 years, they're just blown away when they see when they come out. So somebody that hasn't been there in 10 years has no idea how it has changed since they've been there. And I think that's the feedback I like. You know, when people come out, they're amazed at what we have done. They're complimentary on how clean it is. I mean, they will constantly tell us, you know, it's one of the cleanest farms I've ever been to, and we take pride in that. You know, if you and I are walking around on the farm and I see a piece of paper on the ground, I'm bending over and picking it up because it's that important to keep the farm clean to us. So, and it doesn't smell. You know, we used to do weddings on the farm, and people are hesitant having a wedding, but you know, we are one of the cleanest farms you'll ever find, you know, not only out on the grounds, but even in the pens, you know.
I agree.
If an animal goes to the bathroom, it's getting picked up about immediately. So it's just a different atmosphere when you come out. So it's quite we consider it very unique, and now we have a lot of other farms from around the country come and visit us. So that kind of tells us that we've kind of got to that point where we have something to be proud of and to show off to others so they come now to see what we've been doing.
With this development and growth comes challenges with a set of hurdles and such. Share with our listeners some of the things that you experienced along the way as you built that business. Yeah,
it's, you know, we've been fortunate in our township where we're at that we've had great representation from the township. So they've allowed us to be creative and grow our business like we wanted to. So they're definitely supportive of everything we do. They see the value that we bring to our area and our community. You know, last year I think we had about 150,000 people visit the farm.
Wow!
And we're gonna surpass that easily this year. But for all those people that come here, you know, they are traveling around the area. They're trying to find places to stay, like here in Whitehall. So they're looking for hotels. We always get hotel recommendations and whatnot. Where can we stay when we come? So what we're noticing is we've become a destination place. So now we're getting a lot more people coming from 3-4 hours away, and they're spending the day. So they're looking for hotel recommendations and trying to spend a weekend when they come out here. So they're looking for other things to do just besides us. But besides that, you know, it's helped out our town in New Era, you know, so it brings more people there to come to little restaurants in our community and other businesses. So we hear it all the time. When we close, everybody can tell when we close because the traffic goes down. So that makes us feel good that, you know, we're not only, you know, representing ourselves, but we're helping the community at the same time. Challenges are labor. You know, that's probably our number one challenge by far is, you know, we need 125 people to operate. And, it's a challenge to get them. You know, summertime we do a fairly good job. Once school goes back, it gets a lot harder because a lot of our help is high school students. You know, we'd love to see some more adults come out, you know, looking for a little extra money on weekends and whatnot. That really helps out when we can get that type of a employee. Being open 6 months, I think it's kind of a challenge for us also because, you know, anybody that's looking for a job for 6 months is really looking for a job for a year. So it's a challenge trying to find somebody to fill those gaps, knowing that they're probably going to get laid off in the wintertime. You know, we do pay unemployment, so that does help keep somebody going through the winter. But again, you know, most people want to work 12 months out of the year. So it creates a little bit of an issue for us as a seasonal business, which a lot of other seasonal businesses have the same issue.
Yeah, right. I appreciate the role that you play in the community of being that destination. And with the 6 months on, you are full on. I mean, when you are open, you are full on. Sure. And so once again, that's very admirable, and appreciate what you bring to our community in all the different facets.
Thanks.
So, and you kind of already answered this question of, you know, those victories. What would you say is your biggest victory? What's that feather in your cap that you can say, yes, okay, we have accomplished this?
You know, the uniqueness, I guess, you know, not... You know, we had no idea what we were doing when we started. None whatsoever. You know, we were completely green at this. I'm a farmer, you know, and And I think that's the biggest thing. Farmers don't value themselves at all. What we do, we do what we do. But once we started building this Lewis Adventure Farm, you can really see the passion, I think, that me and my family put into it. And it's the love of the family. I've got both my boys and their one wife is our manager, and the other one's just getting married next weekend, I'm sorry, on the farm. So,
congratulations.
So there'll be another one working on the farm, his wife, I believe. And and that's one of the great things. We're building this for the next generation. Mm-hmm. And so that's really important, my wife Cindy and I, to do that and leave something, to them that I think they'll be able to run with, and they have just as much passion as we do in what we try and do, and it shows. I can see it in them, and they really love what they do. But like I said, the uniqueness of what we've created, you won't find anything like us in the state of Michigan, and I think that is what makes us so unique. So probably.
Mm-hmm. You had touched on bringing in so many visitors and tourists into your place. The number you threw out there was 150,000. That has an economic impact on a community. So, talk about that. Just touch on it, on how Lewis Adventure Farm has impacted the community, and you somewhat have, just because of the volume of people that it attracts.
Yeah. No, it grows every year. So I think that's, ever since we started back in 2004, we have seen our attendance continue to increase. And it wasn't probably till 2015, maybe 2018, where we started to see that we were becoming more of a destination. Okay. because of our uniqueness. We were, Facebook posts and seeing where people are traveling from and the distance people had started to travel. So that became, something we weren't expecting. We thought we'd be just a regional, take care of this area 60 miles away. But now we have people coming from Chicago. So one of the things we're doing, we do experiences on the farm. It's all about an experience. So when you come to our place, we want you to have memories, experiences that you'll never forget. So we do animal experiences too. So we'll have people, one of our most popular experiences now is capybara experience, where you come, you'll actually go in with the capybaras and you get to feed them, pet them, photo ops with them. We'll have people travel from 3 and 4 states away for some of these experiences. Right? Oh. It's unbelievable how they find us on Facebook or the internet and travel as far as they do. But so these people that are traveling so far, they're looking for hotel recommendations. They're looking for restaurants to eat at. So I always laugh because I haven't heard this, but I fully believe, seeing our bathrooms, that people know when Lewis Adventure Farm opens, because one of the big attractions at our farm is our corn barn. So unfortunately, when you go in our corn barn, you get corn in your pockets, you get corn in your pants, you get corn in your shoes. So I can only imagine when people come back and they're coming to a restaurant here in Whitehall, for example, and they're in the bathroom or whatever, and they're finding corn on the floor. I'm really trying to figure out if they've ever put 2 and 2 together and say, now I know where that comes from.
Right, yeah. Oh, they must have gone to Lewis Adventure.
Yes, I've never received phone calls, cussing me out for all the corn they have to pick up, but I fully believe that does happen a lot in our community around here. So we definitely leave a trail of breadcrumbs from anyone that's come to our farm.
So robust summer. It was a great year for tourism, and we were just kind of talking earlier about the tourism season that we have experienced in 2023. But it doesn't let up in the fall. Share with our viewers some things that you have coming up for the fall experience.
Well, the summer was really great for us because we put a splash pad in this year. Oh, so that was a huge addition for our summer business. Okay. So we always noticed, and we knew we had more growth we could do in the summer for sure. And we always noticed that when it was hot, everybody was at the beach, and when it was 75 and cloudy, they were here at our farm because they couldn't go to the beach. So by adding the splash pad, it really allowed us to have something for when those 85 degrees days hit this summer for them to do. And it turned out to be a great addition to the farm. And that actually is going to stay open until October 15th.
Is that right? Okay.
So we do have the ability to kind of do that. So, kids are crazy. So they're 50, 60 degrees, they're still going to want to play in the water. So,
yeah.
But as far as fall goes, our fall season is just ramping up. And it's kind of nice because a lot of the summer type businesses are slowing down, closing for the season, and it kind of gives us more of a captive audience because let's be honest, there's not as much to do in the fall.
Right.
But October and September are definitely our Super Bowl, let's put it that way, because we're definitely the busiest of the year. School tours start today, so we have a jam-packed fall school tour schedule picked up for this year, so it looks like it's going to be great on that aspect of things as long as we have good weather for that. Pumpkins, we just picked pumpkins last night, so the farm's being decorated today, and by the weekend we'll have, carving pumpkins everywhere on the farm for you to come get, and again, photo ops galore with pumpkins and whatnot, so it definitely changes. The atmosphere changes from here on out. We bring shows in this fall, so it's something we do on weekends. So, for example, there's a lumberjack show up at Mackinac City that performs all the time.
Yeah.
We have them down here for 2 weekends. So had them last weekend, had beautiful weather, nice crowd. Then this will be their final weekend this weekend.
Okay.
So besides that, we have pig races going on. If you've never seen a pig race, you got to come out and watch the pigs race.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of hooping and hollering, so it's a really good time for that. But other than that, apple cider donuts, that is a staple throughout the summer, but it's definitely a staple in the fall. Cider started last weekend, so Michigan has started squeezing cider, starting right after Labor Day is when people in Michigan start squeezing cider, so fresh Michigan apple ciders on the farm now, so hot cider. So some of our signature drinks start back up this fall, so our apple cider sundaes, so it's cider slush with vanilla ice cream topped with a donut.
Awesome.
It's just the right amount of sweet and sour, so it really works well together.
Oh, good.
Food, it's all about food when you come to the farm. We got bacon on a stick. We got pig ears, which is our version of elephant ears.
Okay.
And so, when we created this, we wanted you to come to the fair 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So we want food, we want attraction, we want animals. And that's kind of what we built around when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to be. So.
Wow. Well, as we wrap up, what parting message do you have for our listeners? What kind of little tidbit would you like to share with them?
Well, just come out and check us out. It's we're the middleman between my other hat, which is a farmer, and the public. And I think what we're seeing on the ag side of things is a lot of challenges. There's a lot of fruit being imported. Labor costs are through the roof, and the demand doesn't seem to be there right now. We're in an oversupply issue to some extent. So you come out, get a chance, go out. You can do some U-pick on the farm. You can pick apples when you're here on the weekends and during the week at select times. But come out, if you have questions, I'm usually always on the farm to ask. But I think it's important to know where your food comes from. There's so much food being imported now, and with the labeling requirements and whatnot out there, they don't have to necessarily tell you where it's coming from. So, you may find apples, you may find asparagus that are traveling halfway around the country, coming from Australia and whatnot. And there's so much of it's grown right in your backyard. Take advantage of what's here. There are lots of farm markets in Michigan, and hopefully everybody's out there supporting those farm markets because it's a vital part of what we do. If we want to continue to farm, having that outlet for our retail and whatnot, it's a very important. Our locals supporting Michigan grown fruit is super important to us, and we want to let you know why we do it, how we do it, and why it's so important to us as farmers.
Right. In spite of those set of challenges, you have overcome, you have prevailed and succeeded, and we're so proud of the work that is being done on your property and what you bring to our community. So thank you for all that you do, for all that hard work. I am well aware of what farmers go through. Mother Nature can definitely play a big role in that, as well as market prices and such. As a Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau, we will continue to promote you and consider you a feather in our cap and a wonderful asset to our community.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks for joining us. And that wraps up this session and this episode of We Built This White Lake. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.